excluded from the family trip, while bro got a free ride. I said nothing, booked a first-class flight to Dubai for New Year's, and posted the photos. I had no idea the next 90 seconds would change everything while helping Felix with algebra homework in my living room on Tuesday night. My phone rang on the coffee table with a family group chat notice. While reading Dad's note, my chest clenched. Finished New Year Bahamas resort booking. Verified 9 persons. I, Patricia, Grant, Serafina, Caleb, and Hannah. Resorts limit group packages to 9. Cannot add without losing group rate. Flights depart December 29 and return January 4. Looking forward. I finger counted. 2 parents. Additional 5 Grant relatives. That's 7. 9 total, including Caleb and Hannah, his 3 children. My 5-person household was ignored. 9 plus 5 equals 14, but they stopped at 9. After Freya saw me from the kitchen, I handed her the phone without speaking. I noticed her expression shift as she read. The same progression I had. Rose hurried from the kitchen, flour on her nose. Seeing our faces, she stopped saying, "Daddy, the cookies are almost ready. What's wrong?" "Nothing. Sweetheart." I lied. Felix had already seen the screen. "Was Grandpa's trip mentioned?" he inquired attentively. Rose's eyes shone. "Are we going to the beach with Grandpa?" The question hovered like smoke. "How do you tell your 8-year-old she's left out of a family vacation?" "Grandpa's trip is for Uncle Grant's family this time," I said softly. Rose lowered her face. "Why can't we go?" Felix, who was completing his own math, spoke clearly and devastatingly. "But Grandpa, Grandma, Uncle Grant, Aunt Serafina, Caleb, Hannah, only 7 people. Adding us is 11. They picked Caleb and Hannah above us." His statement was factual, not accusing. It got worse somehow. My 1-year-old son said what I was trying to avoid thinking. They chose. In my office, I scrolled back to October in our family group chat history after the kids went to bed. I needed to know when this decision was made and how we were so excluded from the preparation. It's October 18. Message from Grant. "Mom, Dad, contemplating New Year. Kids have endured plenty throughout professional shift. Would like to do something unique. Found a $425 per person Bahamas resort package. But we can't afford it. Implicit yet obvious request." On October 21, Dad replied. "Grant, your mom and I want to help. Caleb and Hannah get an early Christmas present. 4 individuals, $4,750. $19,000 my parents spent on Grant's family." October 25. Message from Mom. "Contact the resort. 7 to 9 person group packages are available. Why don't your dad and I join? Make it a family vacation." My name should have been said there. Should have requested our attendance. Should have considered 11-person packages instead of 9. But nobody mentioned us. They continued talking without us, like we didn't exist. I scrolled through weeks of planning texts I'd never seen, watching my family get enthusiastic about a trip I'd just learned about. We were never asked about plans. This story didn't include us. But something else bothered me. Reason behind Grant's job change. I found him on LinkedIn. Scrolled recent posts. Photo from December 13th hotel ballroom networking event. Business expansion and relationship building. December 6, pricey steak supper. Closed a promising collaboration today. December 1, sports bar premium seating. Work hard, play hard, Pats. Switching to Instagram. His December 17th Corvette. Sunday drive therapy. Harbor cruise. December 10. Finish the week well. Change of career. Tough times. Can't afford vacation. Grant managed to afford networking gatherings, steak meals, VIP sports seating, a Corvette, and weekend harbor excursions. Adding one variable fixed the math. Our folks paid for everything. I opened my year-old Excel file. Family Relations 2024. 2025. XLSX. Documented patterns for 3 years. Thanksgiving 2024. Dad stated he was too stressed to host. Family of Grant visited week later. His response to my call was that Grant's oven had broken. We discovered that was false. Easter 2025. Mom wanted me to purchase Caleb a $350 Easter basket. I sent $75 gift card. Her reply. You only make that. 6 figures, Preston. Felix's 11th birthday, June 12. Dad ran into work issues, unable to attend. That day, he drove 2.5 hours to Caleb's soccer event. August. Grant proposed borrowing $16,500. Business plans were requested first. Ghosted me. Dad called saying I was causing family problems. The trend was clear. Always put Grant first. My family was supposed to understand and not cause trouble while his kids were always first. I watched the family group chat burst with joy the following week while remaining silent. Grant wrote Wednesday, Caleb watching sea turtle videos nonstop. Mom replied. Bringing sunscreen for grandchildren. Seraph posted a photo of Caleb and Hannah in new bikinis Friday. Response from Mom. My lovely grandchildren. Excited to see them splash. Monday, Grant wrote, 2S9 days. Mom. Had snorkel equipment, floaties, and sand buckets. Anything for Caleb and Hannah. Anything for Caleb and Hannah. Reading that in my work car made my chest feel cold. Rose passed my office while I stared at my phone that night. Daddy. You okay? Closed the phone instantly. Just work stuff, sweetheart. Problem wasn't work. Her grandparents couldn't mention her name while preparing a lavish vacation for her cousins. Tuesday afternoon, Christmas Eve, 4. Mom texted me privately. Preston, honey, could you water our plants in the Bahamas? Key under Matt. Your help is invaluable. Have a peaceful week at home. Have a peaceful week at home. She assumed I was available. Assumed I was idle. I was never asked about plans. She chose. I replied, sure, Mom. Sent. Put the phone down. I waited 6 minutes in silence. I searched again on my phone, feeling something cold and clear and distinct move inside me. Dubai Luxury Resort New Year packages. Freya entered my workplace 12 minutes later and stopped at my laptop screen. She could see once I turned it. Dubai's Burj Al Arab Jumeirah. Family New Year's package, December 29, January 5. 2-bedroom suite. Kids Club. Ski Dubai. Desert Safari. NYE. Gala. It cost $19,250. Freya sat slowly. Preston, they're spending $19,000 on Grant's family, I remarked gently. For an unaffordable vacation our kids weren't invited to. I would not. This is about revenge, Freya tested. No, this is about showing Felix and Rose they matter and teaching them their worth isn't based on someone else's arbitrary inclusion decision. We needed time to contemplate, so we left it there that night. After the kids were sleeping, we sat at the kitchen table with the laptop open on Christmas night. Walk me through this one more time, Freya said, sounding serious. $4,750, person X4. Dad pays $19,000 for Grant. Meanwhile, we saved $92,000. We earned $245,000 annually. We're steady. We weren't invited despite years of responsible saving. Reading the package details, Freya brought the laptop closer. What's included? 2-bedroom suite, 5 nights, Kids Club, Ski Dubai, Desert Safari, indoor skiing in the desert, Burj Khalifa fireworks, private beach, butler, service. Felix has been asking when we can go on a real vacation, Freya whispered. Rose still talks about Grandma promising her a beach trip 3 years ago. This isn't a beach, I said. But it's better. Will you tell your parents before we leave? No. They didn't inquire about plans. Assumed. I let them assume. That's, Freya sought for the word, fair. She finished, smiling slightly. They taught priorities. You learned. She checked the screen again. Our kids deserve it. We choose them first, not because it's expensive. I hovered above reserve, giving us one final chance to leave. The phone buzzed. Text from Dad. Preston, we leave Sunday morning. Plant key under Matt. We appreciate your assistance while generating Bahamas family memories. Creating family memories. I regarded Freya. She stared at me and said, book it, with steel. Hit the button. The confirmation page appeared. Your unforgettable Dubai experience awaits. Reserved. I saved it to my phone and closed the laptop after screenshotting. Dad texted me but I didn't respond. Dad told me family comes first. I learned priorities, loyalty, and showing up for loved ones from him. He never identified the family. Just picked mine. The morning after Christmas, I put Felix and Rose at the breakfast table with Freya alongside me and watched their faces go from interested to stunned to thrilled in 90 seconds. We had a surprise, I said. A New Year trip. Felix blanked out when I said Dubai because he didn't know where it was or why it mattered. Freya opened her phone's photos, and everything changed. The screen showed Burj Khalifa. Unbelievable glass and steel needle reaching into the sky. Felix's eyes opened. That's the tallest building in the world, Freya said. We go there. She flicked to the next photo, an indoor ski slope with snow and penguins, and both youngsters shouted a single phrase. Penguins. The explanation came shortly after the 15-hour flight. Middle East. Arid city with indoor skiing. Beaches. And the highest building ever built. Felix kept asking questions quicker than we could answer, while Rose was planning her stuffed animals. Rose interrupted me and asked the question I dreaded. Can we tell Grandpa and Grandma? I glanced at Freya before responding. Not yet, sweetheart. This is our family's surprise only for us. Why not? Rose pressed. Because 8-year-olds don't understand adult conflicts, silence, exclusion, and premeditated replies. Because this is something we're doing together, just the four of us, Freya answered gently. I heard her carefully selecting words. Felix, who had remained quiet, asked a question that showed he knew more than Rose. So we get our own family vacation? Yes, I said. I noticed his face settle. Some recognition that this wasn't a vacation. Was a statement, though he probably couldn't describe the statement. We went shopping the next day, and I was in kids' apparel and outdoor gear stores for the first time in years because we were typically frugal. We usually compared costs, waited for sales, and made reasonable decisions. However, Freya encouraged Rose to get 2 sundresses when she begged for one that afternoon. Rose's face brightened up like we gave her the world. We paid $312 for 1-week outfits at checkout. Without reading the receipt or doing the mental calculations, I usually performed about cost per wear or whether we might get it cheaper online. I handed over my credit card. The salesperson asked if we were going somewhere warm. When I said Dubai, her expression showed the astonished astonishment that made me think we were doing something special and worth being impressed by. Felix enthusiastically jumped in. Go snowboarding with penguins. The clerk chuckled and called Ski Dubai amazing. Watching my son's joy at telling a stranger our plans made me sure we'd made the proper option. Rose called it the best surprise ever on the way home. Felix asked again whether he could tell Grandma, which I answered by stating he could after we got there, which appeared to appease him, even though I knew the real answer was more complicated. The family group chat was full of messages I read but never responded to while shopping, planning, and packing. Mom texted about one more sleep early Saturday morning, and Grant said, Caleb hadn't slept at all from excitement. Messages arrived in waves all day. Each one reminded me of the trip I wasn't invited to and the family memories planned without us. Grant posted a snapshot of their packed baggage and beach toys by afternoon. Mom boasted about Caleb and Hannah's spoiltness. Dad added the cliché about grandparents spoiling. I read it in my living room while my kids played upstairs, wondering if he had ever felt that way about Felix and Rose. Evening brought more of it. Serafina said the youngsters finally fell asleep after being so delighted. Mom suggested she might not sleep. Grant thanked our parents again, saying it meant everything, but nobody mentioned my name or family or acknowledged our absence in that 22-message thread. That night, Freya discovered me staring at my phone and asked if I was okay. So I said yes. When she asked if I was sure about what we were doing, I responded yes, and I meant it. Every message in that group chat, every enthusiastic update on Caleb and Hannah, and every grandbaby's reply that omitted my children confirmed our decision. Mom texted me plant watering instructions at 10:10, when I should have been asleep before our early morning departure. She'd left them on the kitchen counter, she said, and I should stop by twice while they were gone. She ended by telling me to have a nice quiet week at home, like she'd seen me sitting in my house with nothing better to do than care for her orchids. Typed 7 words. Have a great trip, Mom. I didn't correct her. Dubai. Sail-shaped flights, and hotels were not mentioned. Something settled in my chest after sending those 7 words and putting my phone down. Cold, and certain, serene. 24 hours later, we left. As the alarm went off at 4:15 Sunday a.m., the house was still dark as I loaded baggage into the SUV. Felix and Rose were drowsy but too enthusiastic to complain, so Freya drove while I sat in the passenger seat, watching Boston rise up and knowing we'd be in the air by the time the sun completely rose. Logan International had an odd quiet atmosphere at 5:15 a.m., with everyone moving purposefully through the airport. Emirates check-in handled our passports quickly. When the agent saw our destination, she smiled professionally but honestly. Dubai for New Year. Will delight you. Business class confirmed. Gate C38. Her Emirates branded boarding cards were gold. The youngsters opened amenity boxes and found sleep masks, socks, coloring books, and small amenities that made them feel like adults enjoying special attention. By 6:30, Felix and Rose were playing in the Emirates Premium Lounge, Freya read a magazine, and I watched the gigantic A380 being readied for our trip from the windows. I took the photo then. Felix and Rose silhouetted against the window, the plane's tail behind them and daybreak painting the sky pink and gold. Carefully worded caption. Starting a new adventure, teaching my kids that family creates traditions. Dubai, and family first hashtags. I hesitated before clicking post, allowing myself one final chance to back out. Freya came up behind me and asked if I was serious. They posted 22 beach trip updates. I received 22 messages about their excitement, how great it would be, and how much the grandbabies would enjoy it. All I posted was one photo of my kids. After hitting post and setting privacy to public, I put my phone in airplane mode. Freya asked if I was going to watch the reactions, and I told her not for 15 hours because whatever was happening in the family group chat, whatever messages were being sent, and panic was setting in. I didn't need to see it until we were in Dubai and the decision was final. My flight was everything the website promised and more. Business class pods that became flatbeds, flight attendants who offered youngsters pajamas, slippers, and toy camels. Rose asked with amazement if she might keep the camel, thinking it was a trick. Rose treasured it after the attendant confirmed it was hers. Felix called the jet the nicest after finding his seat abed. Post-takeoff dinner service included ice cream sundaes for the youngsters, and when they found the entertainment system contained over 1,000 movies, their delight reached a new peak that made other passengers smile. I couldn't sleep mid-flight with Felix and Rose asleep in their lie-flat seats and Freya sleeping beside me. My mind kept replaying what was probably happening in Nassau. My family arriving, checking into their resort, someone seeing my Instagram post, and the discovery that I wasn't home watering plants and had taken my family on vacation without informing anyone. Disabled airplane mode. The phone connected to Wi-Fi but did nothing. Notifications began. They cascaded. 68 texts, 33 missed calls, and a surge in Instagram comments and replies. I scanned through the texts sequentially, watching the panic unfold. At 9:20, Mom. Where is Preston going? Casual. Intrigued. Maybe assuming I shared an old photo, or was talking about plans. Mom, 9:40. All caps. Less casual. Preston, answer your phone. Emerging anxiety. Dad, 9:55. Direct and furious. Call me immediately. Grant 10:10. Contains profanity. Are you serious now? Mother at 10:45. Full realization. You should watch our house. My dad at 11:30. We must speak now. Give it 12:15. Focusing on himself. Way to ruin our family vacation. There were dozens more variants on astonishment, wrath, and betrayal, and I read them all with the same chilly calm I'd felt since Christmas night. Freya saw me reading and asked how horrible it was. About what I expected, I informed her. In fact, I anticipated an explosion. It was part of the point. Will you reply? Not until we land, I responded. I'd flip the phone back to airplane mode and put it away since they'd have to deal with whatever terror, rage, or hurt was spreading through their Bahamas vacation for another 8 hours until we landed in Dubai. I saw Felix and Rose sleeping calmly with their plush camels under their arms, their faces serene and content, and I felt that cold certainty again. They didn't know about the text messages, family strife, or parent statement. They sensed they were headed somewhere unique, chosen. Somewhere that made them feel special and first. My family in the Bahamas was learning I wasn't home, available, or waiting for them 36,000 feet up and 8 hours from our destination over the Atlantic Ocean. They learned that exclusion has repercussions, silence can be an answer, and that if you don't invite someone to your table, they may create their own. I was teaching my kids a lesson my dad never meant. One about priorities and what it means to choose who matters most. Not invited to the table? Don't ask for a chair. You DIY a table. Create your own customs. You choose your family, even if it's the one you already have and has been waiting to be chosen first. As the jet descended into Dubai in the darkness, Felix and Rose pressed against their windows as the city appeared like a circuit board. The Burj Khalifa loomed amid the skyline and shimmering roadways. This inconceivable desert light spike. LED displays cascading down its sides in changing patterns. Rose appeared astonished when she told me it looked like a spaceship city. I recognized she was right. Immigration efficiently stamped new pages on our passports. A driver in a neat white shirt held a sign with our name and the hotel emblem as we entered the arrivals area. Drive time from the airport was 35 minutes on Sheikh Zayed Road. Skyscrapers competed for attention along 8 lanes of freeway. Each had LED panels with ads, art, and patterns that brought the city to life. We turned into a Persian Gulf causeway. We saw the Burj Al Arab ahead. That sail design I'd seen in images but looked very different in person. Gold and